I think with Bitcoin in a moment like this, where you've broken over top of all your all-time highs and everything, and you haven't started kind of, ripping out of your mind yet, because what happens when you hit an all-time high? Like here was your all-time high from way back in the day, 20K, right? You've got this kind of move to 20K, and so when you break over, you just have these relentless onslaughts of candles that go up, right? Like you don't get much once you break over it. You just start going straight up every 4 hours. Like even from here up to here, you went up 20% half a day. So like when you look at what's happening with Bitcoin right now, you're kind of in that final moment. So like you're either going to start skyrocketing now, or this is going to be a final pullback. So I think that's kind of important to discuss. The scenario of a pullback is still on the table. I wouldn't write it off yet. Um, getting above this 4 hour is kind of created your trail. So that's like the first thing, right? Like that's the first thing you look at when you're at like an all-time high like this. Like you've got your 4 hour candle here, and this would have been like rejection as target, right? So like if you put this here and actually go look at the move, you can see exactly what happened in this move. You can see exactly what happened down to the T. um let's start marking levels out to get our bearings on this thing. So you got a 15-minute. You don't have an hourly here, which is fine. That's fine. You don't need the hourly here. You got a 15-minute. Did it combo to a 5? Like this is the kind of stuff I want to start wondering. Like what targets has Bitcoin hit? It's not a reverse level. I want to just continue looking for what these combos could be. So far right now it's a 15-minute level. Could it possibly be a 1 that got hit? Yeah, looks like it got hit to a 1. And wow, that's almost immediate. Goes to new all-time high, drops 1%, instantly goes to that 1 minute level. Now, I am not going to be easily convinced that a 1 minute level is holding this thing up. However, we don't have anything else here. So like really right now, the point of all of this is to see where Bitcoin's range exists. So I want to mark trends. I want to do everything here so I don't miss anything, right? Like we got to use every trend we have. We've got to use every single piece of this chart. So you've got a 15-minute level, you've got a 1 minute level, you've got an additional 15-minute range trend here, which is going to be your real range trend, right? Like we talked about this a bit last week, but we'll do some formal lessons on this in the coming weeks, where you've got the range trend that got created from the time frame, and then you can also look at some other stuff that we discussed, like when you have a backside level, you can combo backsides into it. So really right now, this is everything I want to do. I just want to start engineering this chart, and you've obviously got your 15 here. You've gone from 15 to 15, right? Like you've got your oops, let's actually make this green, because I do think there's cause to go into a short here. So I don't know if it's going to hold the move. So like you've got to see, this is a 1 minute that's been holding. Have anything else here? You've got a 1 minute break here. That's fine. Like I actually don't think it's too bad to get into. Like I would want, if this breaks over, back tests and holds, I would be cautious. That's where I'd be cautious. But taking a short anywhere from, where's my square tool? Anywhere from here to here, taking a short anywhere in here, I actually don't mind it. I don't mind even taking a short at the highest wick or slightly above it. You've got a 5, so we've got to move fast here. So I'm not even going to bother color coding. Do we have a 15 there? We don't. So I don't mind even actually just taking a short right here at this 5 minute break level, to see if that can pull it down, and that break causes the breakout of the move. The 5 minute break level could be what breaks it down. So actually, I like a short rate here. I think it's, of course, a little risky when you're looking at all-time highs here, but I think if you are going to pull back, you still have to consider that scenario. I wouldn't, just because we've broken an all-time high doesn't mean I'd instantly go and write home to say, yep, we're just skyrocketing. Like I would actively take a short here. So let me, oh boy, I got a lot. Got to do a little bit of movement around here to get onto my exchange. Hopefully I can do it in time. Give me 1 second here, everybody, because I think there's a good cause to call for a short here at 72,500. Because if that holds it back, God, you are going to go for a hell of a dump here. Still trying to set this up.
Cotton, is there information being um, showed to us when it's hitting like say 15 5-minute breaks versus like 1 and 4 hours when they're larger?
I'm
Like,
not quite sure what you mean.
because in the charts, sometimes it seems to target the charts seem to target like a 15-minute break level, but then it won't target maybe an hour or 4-hour break level. Is that is that like information like it's telling us it's not hitting larger time frames, so it's not trying to move in that direction?
I
I guess
don't
this
think
is
I
go ahead.
understand.
Gamma, do you mean like using smaller time frame break levels to protect a bigger break level?
Yes, well, giving us like certain sets of like data. So if we hit like say a 15-minute break level, like the information, because it's hitting, it seems to hit the smaller time frame breaks all the time versus larger time frame breaks.
Yeah. So it looks like we might not be able to get into this. It looks like we might be a little too late here. So it didn't hit our target, but that's okay. Sorry to interrupt you, Gamma, but just wanting to focus on the trading right now. We can discuss that in a second here. Let me finish this, and then I'll get back to your question. So 15-minute, 5-minute break, 15. You're really looking for a 5 to offset it here. You're looking for a 5-minute target of some type. Damn, that's too bad. I was really hoping to get in on that. 4% away. Well, it's not over yet, but now you've got what could possibly be. You really don't want to start separating this and create this as a origin. You don't want to start having this as a bigger time frame to break up. You actually just kind of want to go here and then pull back. So let's just see what happens here. You could also adjust your trade to this right now. I don't necessarily know if you're going to get to it, but yeah, I do think it's worth taking a short somewhere in this range. We do have to see what happens here, though. Like obviously, like whatever this has been testing here, it's holding it down. But again, not a trade you actually ever end up taking. But let's just continue with this to see what we can try to catch here, because I think there could be a pretty nice moment. Go back to the bottom side while we have a little bit of time. So you got an hour and 30, so you're fine. You got a 4-hour here, potential hourly forming here. So we're just going to mark this. It's not there yet, but we are going to mark it just so we know where it is. But 34 minutes, you're going to have this here. Sorry, I marked the wrong candle. 15 minutes, you've got this 15-minute hold. You don't have any other 15-minute hold levels. I'm also not convinced it's a 15-minute holding the move. I just want to follow 1-minute trails. Actually, that's going to be my plan and strategy for right now for this. 1-minute level. Where's the next here? Level. Don't like it. 1-minute level with the hourly. Test it here. You've got this here. You've got this here. So you're looking at two sides to this thing. You're looking for a short here, and this becomes a trigger for it. I don't really see anything else that makes sense. Let's just see. Let's just see what happens here. Okay, Gamma, now we got time for your question. What was your question?
So I'm just trying to understand when it comes to break levels, the information like hitting that like that 5-minute break. Uh, what is it? The hitting the break levels. What is that telling us? Like on the larger and smaller time frames.
That is trying to break the move.
Or okay, so that got it.
If this holds it down and never tests again, you got a 5-minute that offsets it, and you break the move down. So this is a 5-minute level offsetting hopefully a 15. So that's why I'm targeting this and nothing else, because if I am going to move down, I want to do it off an offset. I don't want to go and, set a trade somewhere up here, try to, figure out where the top of this thing could be up here and then try to get a dump. I just want to see the 5-minute offset it. So I want to have like a clear target that's going to offset the 15, and that would be a 5-minute. And so that's that 5-minute right there. So that's the greediest 5-minute level. So if you were to mark a hold level, it would be the same thing. Is marking a hold level.
Oh. Okay.
More so the 15-minute down here becomes important because that's the target that can offset it, is the 5-minute. So if that 5-minute hits and you don't hold the bottom, thing dumps. So let's
I
see.
see.
Yeah, because the 5-minute is, yeah, it's offsetting that 15. Like I said, this 15 we don't want it to turn into an hourly. Right now it's just kind of Pandora's boxing between a 15-minute level here and a 15-minute level here. So you've got 2 15s and that's it. That's all you have. And then you're actually going to have this now too as a 15-minute trend. So you really don't want to like, I don't want to see a mirror. I want to see 5-minute level hit and it breaks the 15 below. And then if that breaks that 15, I think we're safe to dump, right? So I'm just trying to find the +1 -1 to what held up the move. So the first thing I did in this trade is I understood what actually helped this move up. The 15-minute is the best I can see given my quick analysis, but I don't think there's anything else here that's holding the move up. So the 15 holds it up, and then this 5-minute break level can be the piece that holds it down. So yeah, and this trend isn't set either, by the way. It still needs another minute, which is fine. Like, it's only 1 minute, but it still can have, you can move up pretty quick in these scenarios, and then all of a sudden you don't have it, right? So I do want to see 5-minute get hit, pull back, move down. With a break level, you typically want to go over it and deep dive it. So how much do you go over it here? What do you look at going over, right? Like, so now you have to make a decision if you want to buy the 5-minute level or slightly higher. I think I like higher, to be honest. I don't know how much higher I like, but I also want to be safe.
Cotton, is the way you engineer this, is this particular to this moment because we're still kind of breaking out, or will this kind of like for the coming weeks for ranges in the future, that's still how you're gonna kind of look at it? Whereas like
Well,
if you see what's holding up a range,
we're at an all-time high right now. So my whole objective behind all of this is to see if we're actually going to break over top of this. Like, are we actually going to hard close this and this becomes support for the future? Like, where's this weekly? Well, it's
got
not
you.
here. That's just the miscolored level, but it is down right. So like, are you going to close out this coming week now above this, and this becomes your backside hold to hold up the entire move, right? So like, I want to see what you're doing with this level here. I want to see if you can close above it. So well, yeah, well, I mean, we're gonna see, right?
Got you.
We got a
It's
week.
not just like an intermediate short. It's like you're still trying to hold this thing down on the bigger term.
Yeah, we've got a week. So I am setting my trade above this 5-minute level, but we've got a full week here. So like, the question you have to start asking yourself, like, is this the final range, right? So like, now what you're doing is you're saying, okay, we have 6 days left to see what's going to happen with this move. If we have 6 days left, then zoom out here a bit. We have 6 days left. Right now we're 10% above. So I don't know how much further up you can go and still lose this. I suppose you could go up quite a bit. I suppose you could go up to about 80K or so. You could go up quite a bit here and then move down. Like, I just want to see what ranges are going to start being created, because as the next day or two goes on, the 4-hour levels that get created, the daily levels that get created, that's going to give us a clear picture of exactly what to expect, right? So I think this is like a good way to look at it. I think this 5-minute level is okay, but I think it was okay here. Don't think it's okay now that you've got this trend and you're starting to create other time frames. Like, it's not over yet, but we're definitely running out of time. We've got an hourly happening in 30 minutes. It's going to be pretty important. We've got 15-minute candles starting to separate and create hold levels here. Like, if you keep moving down, you've got a 15-minute hold level here now, and you've got a new backside up here. So yeah, I think as time goes on today, you're gonna see, number one, is this range gonna hold the move down, and as time goes on throughout the week, you're gonna see if you can actually get back below some of this stuff down here, which is important. But you're already starting to build up here. Like, you've got daily backside, you don't have any crazy dailies yet, which is nice. Like, the bottom of this daily down here still is under it, so yeah, like, it's not bad, but you definitely want to be careful here. If you're gonna dump, I don't know how much further you can go up before you dump. Like, you'd probably want to start doing it soon. You don't want to create too much support above this weekly, and you've already had a week of it, and this week hard closes it if you don't get below that. So then this is the next kind of important level, would be oh yeah, see, and your weekly level is so far down that like you got to get back below 69K, to make sure doesn't hard close that weekly. So yeah, I mean you've definitely got a bit of a task here for Bitcoin, but it doesn't mean that you're just moving straight up, like you've got a full week here. But I guess we're about to see, like, this is all important time in Bitcoin's existence right now. It's
I really
all
like
it's
that though,
all
because
very
like
important timing.
no matter how bad it looks, you're still looking at the raw data in terms of like that biggest time frame. It's really helpful.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Well, it's all you have to go off of right now. There's some other things, but I won't get into that. But yeah, there's definitely some other things. Yeah. Now it's a
Can
waiting
you guys
game.
hear me cooking? I'll mute myself. I'll mute myself. Sorry,
Here
guys.
Hey,
you go.
hater.
Hiya. Sorry, I'm just cooking. I just got to open my fast.
Hi, you're good, man. Yeah, you almost wonder if this 5-minute level can hold it down. I mean, it's still in play. That's the interesting thing about this trade, is that this 5-minute level is still very much in play right now. So in 10 minutes though, I won't want to see it in play. So like we've got 10 minutes to kind of try to take this 5-minute level, and then we have to make a decision here. So we've got two parameters we're working with to want to or not want to take this trade. Number one is, if we hit this 5-minute level, we're likely going over and creating a new range trend. So the first thing we can start to think about looking at is, where can that range trend be created? 15-minute level here, and then you've got a possible, very loosely going to say this, possible range trend right there. So you've got, this is kind of your first scenario here, right? Like that to this 1%. Like, how much above this do you want to go? Because by testing this, you are just naturally going to create another range trend, unless you have like this crazy dump. But even if you go on a 4-hour candle here, you're likely going to have like a 4-hour or even like a daily range trend. Like, so you can create range trends here. They are going to be some pretty high time frame ones, but you can create them, which is perfectly fine. So it's like, how far above this do you want to go? Because there's going to be a point where if you go too far above it, you're creating a new range, right? Like if you go up here, you're not going to go up here and sink straight down. Like you can, but it would be a pretty nasty dump. So how much further can you go up? That's where you have to play this. Are you playing this range, or are you playing the creation of the next range to break this, right? Because that's another scenario. You can just kind of go straight up here and then move straight down, which I think is a real possibility in this move. But I don't know, how fast can you move down here? Oh man. Like I would be looking maybe here as my maximum target to try to reject this range, which would be a hell of a rejection. But that's about as far as I would go before creating a new range. That would be a pretty nasty rejection to, be here and to instantly go there, and to lose this trend in this range here would be pretty wild. So you're either playing the intermediate, like the internal right now, or you're playing a little bit above it. I just don't think you can go too much above this. I think if you're starting to think of like percentages, this is about as far as it goes before it can have a big dump, because it's just going to get to a point where it just starts creating hold levels. Like 60 seconds is only 60 seconds. And then you have 1-minute candles. And then, like, so after a few minutes of moving up, you're just not going to have the chance to move back down again. Or you're just going to bounce entry back here, because you're going to start creating 5-minute holds and, stuff that you just can't gain. So yeah, there's definitely something to be said about this range. Um, if there was a sequence of events where hitting an all-time high and you go above the all-time high to break up. So like if the sequence of events is getting over this to create an all-time high, you don't boost straight up. You can still get above this and then reject the levels that it gained, right? It's just, you can't do it in 8 or 9 or 10 hours. It's kind of a this morning thing, I would feel. Although you did gain a daily level down here, so you do have a little bit of flexibility, but outside of 4 to 8 hours, I just don't see it happening. So there is kind of one final rejection that you can have here. You make that all-time high and then you sink down. It's the same thing that happens on any stock. Like, I don't know, just go take a look at something that, I don't know, Forex, just pick a random Euro GBP. I don't know, we're just going to pick something super random. Like, just look for any, all-time low, goes a little past the move that tried to break it, and then skyrockets up, right? Like I just literally just picked a random stock because this happens everywhere. Hit that level, go below it, reject above it, and then launch the other way, right? Like it's the same thing with here too, right? Like go a little bit above it, sink down, go a little bit above it, sink down. Like it's not quite broken out yet, right? Here too, go a little bit above it, sink down. Sure, it happens all the time, right? Here, go a little bit above it, sink down. So like that's, you can look at any, even if you wanted to look at stocks, like I don't know, pick a random stock. How about what is this, Tesla? Yeah, sure, look at Tesla, right? Well, Tesla's not a good example, but here's a break. Go a little bit of, look a little bit below the range, and then boost the other way. Like that's just the way it works. I don't know what the hell happened here on this Tesla chart, but rip. AMC is coming to target. It's nice.
My God, the trade went really, really well.
I'm sorry.
So my Gala trade went really, really well.
Good, man. Good. That's wicked.
I think I
So
told you
yeah,
guys
like
about it.
I hate this. I hate this because I had a trade set right here and it's 4% away. And I think this is like one of the good trades here. I hate that. I hate that we missed it by 4% and I had to adjust my level. We actually, how much did I miss it by? Actually, not even 4% on my exchange. What did I miss it by? Oh, actually, it was 5%. So same thing, 0.05. But I just don't think that, like, I think a lot of people right now have the idea that Bitcoin is just going to moon. Like, yeah, it can, but it still has one more range to break. It still has a little bit more time. Like, it needs to stay above this level. Like, it needs to do something spectacular here to break up. It can't just meander. So let's see what happens here. And you can also start thinking about taking a long. I don't know if this 1 minute level really makes sense, but the 15 here does, the 15-minute trend, because it is going to be laddering above this. So I think you can start looking at some pretty extreme levels here. Like you can start looking at this as a reverse, or even this down here at 71.5. I think 71.5 is decently safe too. So I think in order for Bitcoin to break down, you're gonna have to have like a pretty substantial you're gonna have to have like a pretty substantial target hit up top. And substantial meaning time frame relevant, not substantial as in, oh my god, it created a daily. Nope, time frame relevant. So if you have a 15 down here and a 5-minute stops it, that's substantial, right? So that's what we mean when we say substantial. Those targets are yeah, and you don't have any 5 minutes out here anywhere either. 5-minute breaks up there. You don't have a 5-minute created here, 5-minute here. Never hard closes, but that's fine. It doesn't matter. It creates a new 5-minute up here. You have a 15-minute here. Yeah. Hourly is rejection is actually a little bit higher up here. I also want to look at longs too. Like I'm definitely wanting to take trades on both sides of this. It's just this one was missed. So our first trade's missed, but we need to start thinking about, the trade that we can take here. 5-minute level here. Hits, holds again. You've got backside held. So this has been targeted. Clearly that's targeted. Goes for the front side down here, which is the 15, which gives you your 15 range trend. Then this should be hit next. So after that, this gets hit, and then it holds it. So what happened in this range? Was there anything here? Not really. You have a 1 minute here. You have a 1 minute here. So you have 2 1 minutes. So this could have been hit in the future. So now we're right here on the trade. So this has to happen post this, which it does, but it deep dives to the 15, hits this. So now you're wanting to be here. I mean, the level does get hit there pretty perfectly though. No, not really. I think now you're here. So I think this is where you're looking for entry on this one. You want to go and put this back to here. So that's it right there. Did you create the separation yet? Not yet. You still have 2 minutes. I like the 5-minute trade still now. But do you take the 5 minutes straight on the nose, or are you trying to go up higher? And you've also just laddered the next 15. Although you don't have this 15 laddered. You do have this. I wonder if it hits a combo. 5-minute level right there. 5 to 5. Now maybe we look for a 3. That's hit there. Gives you this here. That's it there. Take the 3-minute level. Yep, I'm taking the 3-minute level. I just got to act fast enough to actually get in this trade. And I want to see a pretty instant rejection here on this. So this is a 3 that we have that we need to be aware of. And now we need to make a 1 as well. That 1 stops there. This 1 minute stops here. Don't like that, that's for sure. But I want to get above this, hit the 3, and then lose the move. So I think the 3 is actually not bad here. You do have your 15-minute range trend here to here. After this, have you hit a 5 to hold it down? You have this. Have you hit a 5? Well, like, yes and no. Yes and no. I guess, well, it's not I guess. You would say yes, it's hit. But it's just comboed it to that 1 minute. I wonder if I can combo it to the 3 next and then create a 1 after that 3-minute hit. I still like the 3. I still like the 3 here. Offsets the 5 right here. I don't feel like this is the 15 being hit. There's no 15. That's the 5. It got held up by the 15. Now is targeting a 5. 5 can offset by the 3. That's good. Easy. Yeah, I definitely like that as a short. Definitely like that as a short. Respects the 15 as well. You do have an origin here to break the future, so that would now become an hourly target. And then you have an hourly on the bottom. I don't like, oh, okay, RA 3 to the 15, 10%, not worth it. Take the 3. You take the 3-minute here. I like the 3-minute. Put the 5 here. Combo on the 3. The 1, the hourly. Yep, I like the 3. See if it can lose the move. You hold that 3 and see what it breaks down below. If that 3 holds, it could be a pretty clear indication, since you do have a 5 hit right here. If that 3 holds, it could be a pretty clear indication that we are now moving down. Have the 5 holds it, creates a 15-minute break, which can offset the hourly trend that you have. So that hourly trend offsets this. So that's properly offset. So this one you can do that because that's properly offset. This hasn't been hit. So the hourly is offset by that 15 already. This 5-minute from back. Where was that? 5 minutes. Oh, yeah, sorry, right here. This 5-minute here. This hourly is offset. So let's start putting dotted lines where everything is offset. That's offset. Offset. That's done. This will get offset by the 5-minute, which is here if it holds this deep dive, but it's got to go up and straight down on. But here's a 5-minute break, 15-minute. So what isn't offset? This will get offset by the 3. This 1 minute can offset that 3. So this is in play. 15 is not. This 1 minute is in play. That hourly is in play. So these 2 levels can offset this. Everything else is offset. This is a mirror from here to here. So you don't want to be shorting this because this just got hit. So this is now dead and gone in my opinion, unless you combo the 15-minute, which is the hourly, to here and lose the 15-minute trend. The 15-minute trend will offset that hourly as well, which is already offset. So the only level you really have is this. Everything else is offset already. So yeah, it's the only smart trade left. It's the only smart trade left that can break the move down. Past this, I wait for the range or take a long. I'm no longer taking that 5 minute up top because it just becomes a Pandora's box to this 5 minute level. And I don't want to get into a game of Pandora's boxing, high risk for shorts. Like getting this trade might feel better because it's a better price, but you've got 80 something percent. And then you actually don't even have 80%. That's just a Pandora's box. You can actually stop right there. So imagine taking this trade with all that risk breakup for 40 something percent, possibly even 32. Not worth it. If this holds the move down, though, I'm not expecting any of this stuff on the bottom to hold it. So that's really where I like this trade on the 3 minute because it's literally the only target left that still offsets everything. It can actually spike the 15 here too, which if the hourly doesn't hold it, then the move is gone. Well, I mean, you've got a few hourlies, so that's fine, but at least it gives you an easy way to stay in the trade. Let's see what happens here. But yeah, I think the 3 minute is like the level you want to take if you want to break this thing down. I don't think there's anything smart left to take. So may not be the best price, but it might be the best price you can get. Really, our best trade was here because then the 3 minute can be your trigger to get out of the move, right? So this was really the best trade here when we tried to get that 5, but we were just barely missed it. So that's gone, which is unfortunate. It can still hold the move, but again, now I'm not interested in taking it. Now it's this 3 minute, or I have no interest in staying in this, taking a short here. Hopefully you get some kind of trend here that holds it up somewhere. Oopsies, not like that. Hopefully there's some kind of trend that's holding it up. I haven't looked, I'm just kind of guessing, but hopefully there's some kind of trend that holds it up, gets it to this 3, and then it can move down. But the closer we get to this 3 while taking our time, the more I like it because it's going to coincide with that 15 very nicely.
I really see how you use trends as like a measurement of where all these levels are at. Like, do you even use hard closes of trends much anymore, or is it more just like a
When
way
it's
to see where
appropriate.
these levels can? Yeah.
Yeah, when it's appropriate. Right now it's
I
not
remember you
appropriate.
saying
Whereas
something about.
it's not like we have any legacy trends or anything. Like these are just localized trends. There are no trends to work with right now. So right now trends aren't appropriate to try to trade with. Just hold levels are, and that's it.
I remember you saying something about like when something mirrors, when you have that mirror created and you start to Pandora's box, and then the trend becomes more important because it's more of like that time bomb kind of like you start to
Yeah.
get over a trend or something and start to hard close. That seems like that's kind of where that would apply here.
Yeah,
With
it
the 5
absolutely
minute.
would. The only thing is like hourly is your biggest time frame here, so like it's not going to take much to break one of these trends when hourly is the biggest time frame. You know what I mean? Like you
Oh
have a
yeah,
weekly trend
that
and you
makes
need a
sense.
day to close it. Like that's one thing, but if with an
Yeah.
hourly, like imagine you have an hourly and you create a 5 minute hold level just slightly above it after a few minutes, and then you hold the 5 minute hold level, like you're already going to hard close a trend in the 15 minute. Like
Yeah.
it's not going to take much. That's the only thing about that is that you can't really walk away from your computer. They're pretty quick trades when you're playing trends like this. So you can still play them. It's just you're only breaking a 15-minute trend that's already got a 15-minute target from the bottom. That's already kind of offset in a way because that hourly target on the bottom should break that 15. So I'm going to see what happens here in the next little bit. But I definitely don't mind a 3-minute level here. I definitely don't mind the 3-minute level. And the reason I like it, again, I'm just going to go over this one more time. The reason I like it is because it breaks the move down, the 3-minute level. Getting a better price, you're less likely to break the move down. So you're almost better taking worse entry and higher chance to have succession. Like I want higher chances of succession in my trades. What I focus on is high chance of succession, not, better price. Better price just gives you a few extra dollars in your pocket. Higher rates of succession means your trades are better quality. I'd rather give up 10% on every trade if I have a higher chance that they're going to work out. Like the 3-minute
Yeah, I think
level,
it's
I
hard.
can get in it and I can get out of it. The 5-minute level up top could just blow right through. You know what I mean? So I'd rather lose 5 to 10% on a trade that I know has the ability to go multiple hundreds of percent than to take 10% better entry on something that has a high failure rate. It doesn't really make sense, right? Like it's all part of that RA game.
I think I've been missing entries because of that. I've been trying to go too greedy and dive stuff deeper than it can when it's like just go with the stronger level.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you haven't really built up any time frames here, which is nice. So like really you just want to kind of creep up and then move down. I love this entry though, especially with how close it is to the 15-minute here. It just looks like such a good premium entry. But if this breaks, you almost want to like hedge your spot and go market long, because that's gonna be that could get pretty spicy. So you can almost hedge there and go market long, which I don't like market longs, or market shorts. I don't like market anything, to be fair, but you know what I mean? Like it is not unreasonable to do that. You definitely wouldn't want to do that. It goes up a little bit and then crushes down. That's why you don't do it, because you just left it pretty naked. You're just kind of playing the side of the chart that you're hoping it goes towards.
Colin, how would you play your stop loss on this trade? Manually, or would you
It's always automatic.
set like a...
My stop's always automatic, and then I get out of my trades appropriately.
Okay. I just remember because yesterday you played, I think, one of the trades at like minus 10% or something. Not yesterday, last
Like
session.
last session, yeah.
Yeah, that's
trying
what
to
I was just
think back
wondering.
to that trade. That's probably because it was at polarity. If I remember correctly, it's because it's a polarized move, and polarized moves, like they're just gonna fly. This is pretty polarized too. Like I'm gonna play this pretty tight. I'm not gonna let this. Yeah, like I play this
Yeah, I
trade pretty
wondered
tight
that
too.
because sometimes the stop will be like I'll engineer something and the stop's at like 10% anyway, and it's basically where I would think that back test would be anyway, and I'm like, well, you might as well just have a stop there,
Yeah,
as opposed to like.
So let me rephrase my question. Where's your trigger? Where
for the
this
3
move is
minute.
fading. Yeah.
Oh, if it starts to gain, and I'm just getting out. I don't have any triggers on this. I'm just getting out if that 3 minute doesn't reject.
Okay, understood.
I might give it like a minute or two, but not too much. If it starts like getting a little too wild, I just get out.
Oh, food tastes so great.
Come on, Bitcoin. Like we do really want it to just kind of go up, touch this level, and pull back here. The benefit of it not doing that is the time frames it'll start to create. Like right now, we're gonna have this get created pretty soon here, 4 minutes. So like you really in the next 4 minutes, you kind of want to hit this, and then you want to lose this, right? So I mean, the engineering on this looks all good. Like it looks pretty solid. You kind of just want the next 2 minutes to just look like a move up, hit this, start to pull back, and then straight down. So like within the next 5 minutes, that's kind of what you want to have. And if we start getting longer than 5 minutes, I don't know if I like the trade as much. I like the trade right now. I don't like it, in 15 or 20 minutes once we're out here. I like the trade for the next few minutes. I just want to make that clear. I just want to see it move, like I said, up in the next minute or two, hit this level, start to create a pullback in the next minute or two, and then we've got a 15-minute level here in 3 minutes, and then you almost have an easy level to gain. You have, possibly a 5-minute level here. Hopefully that's the way it works out, and you have a 5-minute level here, and you just kind of go and then start getting below this, and then, so within 5 minutes, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for it to hit this and then pull back. Maybe 7 minutes I'm looking at. Yeah, so this is exactly what we wanted. Let's hope we get our entry here. It looks like I might miss it on my exchange. Not really moving too much. Oh, don't do this to me, please, for the love of God. Now we need a pullback. Yep. Now it needs to just sink straight down. Otherwise, we get out of the trade. So far, so good. So far, so good. So hopefully people are in this trade. I'm in this trade. Yeah, and now we look to get out. If it's just gonna start getting a little wild here, we're just gonna look to get out. We're gonna give this thing maybe 20 more seconds. If you start moving up after 20 seconds, I'm out. Really want this thing to just have a pullback. There's no backup levels it's targeting. Yeah, no, we need to be under this stuff. We need to create this right here, or we got to get out of the trade. So if we can't get below this, I'm out. Like if we reject this, I'm out. If we start getting above this, I'm out. So very tight criteria here. Yeah, because this is kind of going to be like one of the final moments in the trade before you start skyrocketing. So you're either going to pull back, reject here, like I said, get below this, and you've got only 30 seconds you need to manage this trade. That's it. Just 30 seconds. Nothing major, right? And so I also would have closed the trade if we would have closed above this level here. I'm out of that trade.
Makes sense.
So
Did
like
we go to the 1 minute origin? Was it
no,
3
I'm not
minutes?
looking at any origins. I'm only looking at this 3 for the stuff that I engineered before. So this isn't too bad. If we close here in the next 8 or 9 seconds, that's not too bad. This is changing my plan a little bit. I want to give it a little more time because it's such a tight criteria here. You're either going to lose this or you're going to go down. So like if we hit this rejection as target and we start moving up, I'm also going to get out. My criteria is super tight right now. So we're either going to get below this or I'm out of the trade. As simple as that. We start getting above the pink, I'm out. If we don't get below the white, I'm also out. So like my criteria is almost at a 0 loss here because like get above this, I'm out. You know, and from here, you're talking about like such a micro range. There's no money to lose here. There's only a chance to take on a trade that has a chance to dump, and that's it.
Would you just move your stop right above that little
No,
ladder
no.
there? Or are you still trying
I'll
to...
just hit close. I'll just hit flash close. I'm not gonna mark. There's no point to have a stop loss there. It's
Yeah.
gonna market close anyways if you're on a stop loss. 10 seconds. I need to get below this. 10 seconds. I'll give it a few more seconds here because now I can use this as well. So I can just close if we get above this. There's no point to panic exit yet, but this is also a whole level right beside what's breaking. So if we start to get above this, I'm going to close. I'm not even going to wait for candles to close. I'm just going to close for a 0% loss.
Yeah, you
So I'm
do
just
that, though.
hyper controlling this trade because if this thing is going to dump, I want to play this is it. There's nothing left after this. And now you have your 15 minutes. So this is a good trigger as well. So if we do start to move down here, this is a really nice trigger. 5 minute is still intact. 15 minute is still intact. 14 minutes to go. So now you actually have that intact. So yeah, you really, really, really need to dump here. I feel like the longer this trade goes, the worse off it is for us now because we've got a clear target in sight. Had that 15 minute not been created, I'd be okay with just meandering here. Because this 15 minute is created, now I need to gain this. We have our timeframes created. I need to gain them. If we were a minute or two out from creating them, meandering for me is fine. But right now, these kind of holds are not okay for me. I don't like meandering after we have clear targets on the board. Like we need to target this, get below it, not allow it to bounce our move. We need to target this, get below it, not allow it to bounce our move. Right now we have the 15 and that has to break this 15. It cannot hold this and it cannot offset here. So like we're in a perfect position. We're just free rolling now. So this is great. We engineered a trade, complete free roll, complete free roll. If you wanted to, you could set your stop like right here above this break. I guess you could just set it here if you want. You could also trigger out on the 15, but you can protect yourself here. If you really need to set a stop because you have to walk away, you can do that. You can set a stop right here. You can also just set a stop above the whatever, like just above this. I would set it maybe like it's kind of silly because you've got this break level right here. So this could hit bounce it and it can also bounce these and it has to close above this. So there's still a little bit. So it would kind of be silly to say like, oh, gain this and then reject that, right? So like, I don't know if you had to walk away, I suppose you would just set a stop like right here so that at least you market exit neutral. And here's that 5 minute, has to lose this, Not interested in anything else. I want this to get, don't want this to hold. You need this rejection as target to get lost. 5 minute close above this, I probably exit the trade. I just want to see this thing dump. I don't have any interest in, like, you see what I mean about this? It needs to hit this and it needs to get below. Can't dick around with any of this stuff. 13 seconds here. Stay blue, please. White's actually not bad. I just don't want it to get above and close this. Yeah, because see, now you're just going to get into this stupid situation. See what I mean? Like, you have to gain this, and that's it. So just use this as your stop. You get above this and you close. Just get out. This is it. Like I don't see why you would stay past this. 3-minute reverse. If this bounces it, you just market close. Like I don't know. It's not even worth it. But if this bounces, you've got a 5, a 3, and you're just gonna hold the move. So like you just if this holds, you just get out. There's no point. You've already offset the 3 Pandora's box between the 2 from the larger time frame offset above. Not worth it. Not worth it. You literally have gain these or get out. You're in a very straightforward trade right now. Gain or get out. That's it. Let's see what happens here. I'd like to gain this 1 minute. I don't want it to bounce here and close above that. Obviously, that's bad news bears. Yeah, to be fair, though, you might want to stay in this trade until this breaks, just for the simple fact that you are starting to Pandora's box a pretty small range here. Like, if this doesn't reject, get out. This is good. You've got 4 seconds and you've got a new hold level here. So that's great. That's great news. Oh, no. We wanted to create a white candle there. So if you get above this ladder point now, like if you get above this, you just market close. Your criteria is so tight here. You have to. You're not worried about catching a big, massive trade. You're worried about being in the right trade. I really would have liked that to turn white. Because now we've got a 5, a 3, and a 1 that can hold. Get above this. Yeah, I'm just going to close. Unless we pull back right away. Like maybe I'll go break even. Maybe I'll give it a little bit of room to breathe. I guess there's no point. Maybe you hit this 15 and pull back, but yeah. This is it though. Reverse the 3 maybe, like because this can reverse the 3. That would be kind of my only final moment here. But like you got 14 seconds and I want to see this stay white and I want to instantly gain this. You can take this off now. This is not relevant anymore. If you get anything above this, like my stop right now would be like right here. I just don't care. Especially since you just opened a white candle over trend. Stop's not triggered yet, but oh my God, is it close? Well, I actually don't have a stop, but that's what I'm saying. I would put one there. I'm gonna give this a second or two. Yeah, no, it's time to get out. Yeah, especially opening over that 15. Yeah, and it's just like, yeah, it becomes very obvious as to like what's gonna happen here. Maybe you can reject the 15, but it's no longer a smart trade. And you can see the moment like all this stuff was happening. Like this 5, that's exactly what I said. Like if you don't gain this, it's just like get out. You have a little bit of criteria here that you can play with, but yeah, you pretty much just taking your you're just pretty much taking your small loss at that point because this just becomes too risky. You can hold it and pray for it all, but it's too risky. Like look where you opened this candle. Like of course this thing's gonna boost up. It's almost work more like hedging at that point, you know. That was a nice trade. That was like a really good trade to be in. It managed out perfectly. Series that 5-minute level. Yeah, that trade managed out absolutely to perfection. I really like that trade. That's a great example of how to like manage that position in the moment because you can see how I just engineered to the 3. The 3 had to gain the 5. The 5, it didn't happen. The 3 is still there as a reverse. It's hitting this as a reverse. This is the reverse. It's not holding. It's opening over trend. Like the writing's on the wall. And now this thing is gonna, I would assume it's going for this, but let's see. I'd be amazed if it pulled back here. Sorry, what was that, Dak?
I just said that was great. I'm proud of myself for I took that with you and managed it the same way, and it just like it all made sense though. It was very clear.
I mean, if this 5 doesn't hold and you lose it, and this 15 doesn't hold and you've offset by a 3 that's onset by everything else, like you're looking at a real possibility of a dump. You can still do it off this 5. Like I talked about that earlier about, but yeah, I don't know, man. That can be pretty risky stuff. Like I don't even think this is still like if you were in right from here, I would still not exactly be okay with this trade. The only thing I would say is like get above this and get out of the trade. Like there's still not enough criteria here to actually work with. Like it's literally just a stab in the dark knife. It's just like a stab in the dark here at this point. But this one is nice because this has a very clear directive of what the trade can do.